All right, we are live. All right, what's going on, Sweatshop? Let me bring up the chat box here. Yes, sir. Oh, and ACP, man, I made you a moderator, so
Yeah, I
you
saw
got,
that actually.
yeah, just whatever, man. Everyone in here is Sweatshop, so everyone's just chopping it up. But if we ever get those like sex bots or anything, we can get rid of those. Except unless some of these guys in here, you never know. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. But all right, guys, what's going on? We're here at a little late night chop up for the U.S. Open here. At Erin Hills. Just some last minute updates, and I have the homie here, ACP Andrew Pierce. Everyone knows him in the sweatshop. Andrew, say what's up, buddy.
What's up, guys?
Look at the Dodgers shirt, man. How you doing, man? Is that got a name on the back, or is that just a Dodger shirt?
It's my boy Cody.
Oh, I didn't see the
Double
number. I
dog
didn't see that.
Cody.
Yeah, I see, man. My bad. I just
Double
saw the
dog.
white Dodgers. That's all I could see in the.
Nah, yeah.
That's what's up, man. I actually got him today, so I feel that. All right. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I got some information we're gonna get into here, and let's see. Sorry, I'm still working on this. Let's present it. Or no, that's not it. Oh man, this ain't looking good. Screen share. There we go, boys. Man, what you looking at me for, man? What are you laughing at me for?
No, the guy in the chat, he was saying "fuck the Dodgers."
Oh no, yeah, I was looking at the chest. That's hilarious, man. Damn, you ain't gonna say anything back?
No, I did. I said, don't be mad.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, man.
All right, what are we looking at right now?
All right, I'm gonna share my entire screen, I guess, and it's gonna. All right, so here we go. So I got my DK lobby brought up here. I have a few milli makers, so I'm gonna bring up some of the prices here. And ACP is very knowledgeable as well. We both use Fantasy Labs. I used to use RotoQL. As you get real quick, guys, you can see I'm winning a fat 0 in MLB.
Hey.
See, we show L's too, boys. I'm not afraid to show you guys the L's too, man. Look how many satellites I tried to get into, boys, and that's just a fat L. Like, it was bad. But luckily, I still got a few saved up for the milli, so we'll be all right. I got 6 going. So there's a lot of discussion this week. Well, you see, there's 122,613 entries. I got a little note on my phone. I mentioned last night, but if we got anyone new, doesn't affect anyone at all. But DK is making 550 grand off of this tournament. Total of $4 million roughly is going into it. So a lot of rake for DK. But that $1 million top prize is obviously very enticing. So let's get right into it. ACP and I, before the show, agree we're going to split it up: top tier, mid tier, lower tier, and kind of dive into them. Try to get into them rather quickly, so we can quickly, so we can cover a lot of guys. Obviously, there's 196 guys in the field, so we're going to cut it off at a certain or 156, not 96. My apologies. So we're going to cut it off at a certain extent. So let's start it right off, man. Andrew, man, what do you think? Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, so to speed it up a little bit, I say we go from 12K to 9K right now.
Right, yeah. But we can do it. How about we do it in like a three way? So it's like it's a fade, like a not a must play, but like a strong exposure, like heavy exposure, and like a so. Like, how about that? We choose one of each. Like, you're a guy you feel really strongly about that you're gonna have some good exposure to. A guy that you're kind of like, I'm on the fence, like or like not maybe on the fence, but you're like, I'm worried that he might top 5 if I don't play him. But then if I do play him, I'm worried he might miss the cut and screw my lineup. So then a guy that you're not going to play at all in that range. You know what I mean? Does that sound good?
Yeah, perfect. First things first.
Yeah, you lead it off.
First things first. Let's focus on mentality first, because obviously all of us here are trying to play the milli maker. So don't go into this with your normal single entries, obviously, or even on normal GPP, because like he was saying, there's over 100,000 plus entries here. So the biggest thing for me is don't just get in the mindset of is this guy going to place first? Is he going to win the tournament? Because that's not necessarily going to give you the best chance of winning. Let's say Dustin Johnson does win the tournament, right? But now you got Dustin Johnson at 12K, which I'm not saying to fade Dustin Johnson at all. I'm not saying that. I'm just giving you an example. You got Dustin Johnson at 12K. And then now you got to build the rest of your lineup with other guys who you think are going to place well. Well, and DraftKings, though, when I did my 100K lineup, I didn't have the first place winner in my lineup. DraftKings is just like this sport is just like any other sport. It's based off your total score. So a big thing you need to think about in your mindset is who's going to be those guys who are going to get eagles. Who's going to be that guy to get that, maybe that lucky ace? Who's going to get the guy to get those birdie streaks, those bogey-free rounds? Those are a lot of big things you want to think about when you're going into building your lineup. Because anybody can, like when I first started golf, which wasn't too long ago, anybody can be like, oh, I know Rory, I know Dustin, oh, this guy's made 8 out of 8 cuts, this guy's made 13 out of 13 cuts. Anybody can build those safe lineups, which is not going to win you anything in this million maker. It might win you something in, the Thunderdome, but nobody really can afford to do that unless you win, 100,000.
Yeah, Andrew. Hey man, if you don't mind telling the shop, man, how many entries do you have in this million maker right here, man?
Hey, it's the first time for the million maker. I had to do it, man. I max enter. So I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you guys who can't max enter with that shark mentality. So I'm giving you both.
You got to listen to this shit. Like this is.
Yeah. I'm giving you guys.
Yeah.
I'm giving you guys both sides of the spectrum here. So, as a player who entered the last million maker with, I think I only literally did a single bullet. I understand where both sides are coming from here. So, like I was saying, getting back to the mentality is you got to build those lineups with players who are going to score the highest. And the thing is too is that's messed up about DraftKings is, like I always say, the rich get richer in DraftKings, right? Because the rich sharks, they can afford to play a lot of these low tier guys. Because let's be honest, there's going to be some 6K guys, maybe 6.5K guys who end up in the top 10, maybe even top 5, maybe even win the thing. And they can afford to be like, oh, I'm going to throw in like a random Suwing Kim into my lineup just because I can. He's 1 out of 150. So that's a big thing, guys. I just want to focus on mentality first and focus on guys who score a lot of DraftKings points. And then obviously you want to focus on making the cut, and you want to focus on who's going to place high. Because let's say you fade Dustin Johnson, right? It opens up your lineup a little bit more. Let's say a lot of the lower tier 10K guys and upper tier 7K guys place like 2, 3, 4, 5 in your lineup. That's better than just having the single solo winner and then having a bunch of 15th, 20th, 30th place winners. So just keep that in your mind, and we'll start with the top of the top tier. So for me, obviously Dustin Johnson is the best of the best. I would never say don't play Dustin Johnson. I think I have around 20 to 25%. I'd definitely recommend having him in your lineup. If you're doing a single bullet, I'd say fade Dustin Johnson. If you're doing a single bullet, I'd say fade him. Would you agree with that, Dexter?
I would. He's from the casual people in these big tournaments, he's gonna garner that ownership in a single sentence. I would, yes.
Yeah.
Now, automatically.
Automatically, just off the top. If you're doing single bullet, fade Dustin Johnson.
The only way he can beat you is if he hits those eagles and those par fives. He gets like a bunch. And if he top threes, and I don't think both hit. Like he can get, I just don't see it. I just don't see it, man.
Exactly.
Especially at 12K, like everything has to go right for him. Multi-entry, you can't fade him though. I don't think, because that just doesn't make sense in a multi-entry, because he is the best golfer in the world, past champion. We just saw Daniel Berger repeat. I know it's the St. Jude. You can't really compare him, but he just defended his championship from behind too. Like he came from almost what it looked like nowhere. Like it looked like Stewart, Sink, Schwartzel, Reeve, and Rafa looked like the main four, and then like Berger just slowly kept going and put it on hot late. It was crazy. But anyway, speaking of that, I don't want to go. We're going to get into it, but I think Berger is a sneaky play this week. No one's really mentioned him, but we'll get into that.
We'll definitely get into that.
Definitely.
Yeah. So Dustin Johnson, like I said, if you're doing a single bullet, fade, automatic fade. If you have multiple lineups, 10, 20, definitely play him. I mean, it's stupid not to play him. He's the best player in the world. And this course is pretty much made for Dustin Johnson. It's a long course. It's made for Dustin Johnson. All right. But auto fade if you're doing single bullet. Now, for me, besides Justin Johnson, if I had to fade somebody from this top echelon, I'm talking 12 to 9K. A fade for me, if I had to fade somebody, then it wasn't doing too many injuries. One of my favorite plays, to be honest, but I'd have to fade like either Sergio Garcia. I'd have to fade. Just from an ownership perspective, I want to say fade Rory, but Rory could flat out win this thing. We haven't seen him recently, but it's gonna be the weather is gonna be raining there. It's gonna help him. This is another player that this course seems to be kind of built for him. So right away from that top tier, I'd say fade a player like Sergio. Maybe the higher echelon, I'd say fade a player. I like Jason Day. I like Ricky Fowler. If I had to fade one of those higher upper tier, I guess I'd have to say I'd fade Ricky Fowler because I feel like he'd be higher. He's going to be higher owned, and he can win, but I really don't see him winning this thing.
Right. No, I agree with that actually 100%. Ricky Fowler is my fade. He's actually the only guy that I've noticed in the top echelons of odds up there, close to DJ, that's actually moved. He was at I got it right here on my screen. I'm not going to screen share it, but I can just read it off. I think I don't have his opening odds, but I think he was at 20 or 22 to 1. Like he was definitely with Rom or behind Rom, and now he's at 18 by himself, like ahead of Rom. And so I don't know. Plus a lot of talks coming on him recently. For me, Ricky Fowler, I'm not going to be playing him because I don't think in mass multi-entry, in my opinion, you can obviously agree or disagree. You're definitely the guy to do that. I don't think you can play all these guys because you're going to be covering too many bases. Like you won't. I mean, you're not going to be able to cut. Like I don't know. I don't know how to word it correctly, but you're not really doing yourself good by trying to cover 9 good guys and then trying to. I don't know. You know what I mean? I feel like the lower guys are more volatile, so it's better to find multiple lower guys to fit in with your studs that are like you've been researching. You know what I mean? I mean, what's your take on that? Like, are you playing? What do you think? Are you slay me if you think I'm wrong? But like, are you playing almost all these guys? Like, when you look at the odds, like up there, like, are you playing DJ, Rory, Jason Day, Spieth, John Rahm, Sergio, Stenson, all these guys in a lineup just to cover bases, or like, are you saying like, no, I'm not playing Stenson whatsoever, zero exposure? Like, what's your take?
Like I said, it all depends on how many lines you're running, obviously. But yeah, I think.
Well, I'm talking about personally, you like with like
personally,
yeah, like with like mass multi-entering is what I'm like referring to. So like not even 150, just like even like the birdie. I'm still thinking about max entering. That's only $60, 20 max, and you're still getting a lot of money. Like 196,000 entries or some gnarly stuff like that. 30,000 first place. So it still looks pretty good. Only $60 to max enter. It can kind of help the people that don't max enter as much practice with only $60. So I was just thinking because you can't really play all those guys. But what's your take, man? I kind of just said that. So go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. If you're max entering a tournament, I think the key is just for at least for the upper echelon to have more exposure on the guys you really like, a lot more exposure on the guys you really like, and way less exposure on the guys you don't like as much. Because at the end of the day, if you're max entering, and let's say a guy you don't like, I don't know, I'm a random guy, I don't know, Hideki, right? Hideki, you don't really like him that much, and he goes off and has the best tournament of his life. Well, now, if you just completely fade that guy, I mean, you have no chance of really catching up to the people, the sharps who played Hideki for this week. But at the same time, I can see the merit behind completely fading a guy who you see has like no chance. But just for the sake of exposure-wise, for these top echelon guys, I'd say just minimize the exposure if you're doing max entry. Personal take on it.
Right. Because it's definitely tough to see a stud that you have no exposure to go out there and win because you're pretty much done. So it's good to have maybe 5 or 10%. So then you still have a bullet. Like it's better to still have a shot than no shot. So
no shot at all. Yep.
Right. So what's
so
going on?
who do you like in this category?
Yeah, man, it's tough, man, because honestly, if we take ownership into account as well, like if we just go beyond statistics, well, excuse me, statistics. I didn't drink. Give me 1 second. Jordan Spieth statistics is looking good. Like
Yes,
just putting, par 5 or is it par 4 scoring? I don't have them brought up. I was kind of going to do that after the stream because I don't want to get myself completely confused with plays because that's what I did last week, and luckily Seth saved me with Ches Reavie. I had him good overexposure there, but it was good. Yeah, man, Jordan. Jordan Spieth statistics wise, but I really like Jason Day. That's what I'm worried about. Like when I say that iffy play, like a lot of these touts are slowly mentioning him. I think his ownership's going up, but I think for good reason. And I'm a little worried that Jason Day is going to be
here. Yeah, let me harp on that a little bit. First with Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth is one of my favorite plays of this these upper echelons. One of them, and for a couple of reasons. Like I said, his putting is great. Big reason for me though is with majors, well, golf in general, right? It's a game of mentality, right? And Jordan Spieth, when it comes to these majors, this guy's record is insane. The last major he was at, we all know about, his water course and that whole debacle that happened there. But besides that, at majors, he shows up to play. And he's been trending upward since that major. He's been trending upward, and his putter has been hot, and this course is pretty designed well for him. So he's one of my favorite players of the day, and I can see him garnering a lot, not a lot, lesser ownership compared to a DJ or a Rory around the same price point. Jason Day is another one of my favorite plays, just for the pure fact that from these last couple of tournaments, the way he's been looking, he's been trending upward majorly. I think the last tournament he shot like a 76 on the first round, right? Which is not good, obviously. But then the next day he goes out and shoots like a low 60, and then just comes back hitting. So Jason Day is one of those iffy plays where I feel like if Jason Day comes out swinging, like he could win this thing. That's the thing that's tough with all these majors, especially. There's so many guys who could win this thing. Like guy we haven't even talked about, John Rahm, a guy who's everybody talks about. It's his first tournament. Everybody says the same thing. Is like, but this is this first tournament for everybody. Pretty much nobody really knows his course. So John Rahm, that guy, statistically kills it. He could go around and win this thing. It's really just at this upper echelon is, I think what I want to kind of get into everybody's heads is, who do you think's going to score the most points? DraftKings points. Trying to change the mentality a little bit, and not just so we're not so focused on who's going to win this thing, but who's going to help your lineups garner the most points, get the most points.
Right. It's really about birdies and eagles, man. It really is. And I was watching. I got to shout them out a little bit. Fantasy Labs here. I was watching a little podcast they've done. They've really pumped out the contents for the U.S. Open. CSU Ram made a point. Something like JB Holmes is recently in like the last like 12 rounds he's played is like terrible with par 4 scoring, but like historically over the last 2 years and like birdie or better, he's like top 5. So just because he's like birdie or better, like just because he doesn't fit in the stat of like what par 4 or par 5 or whatever adjustment you're looking for, if he gets birdies, man, that's what DraftKings is about. So and birdie streaks are huge. Like Charles Schwartzel pretty much was on, like pretty much got you in the cash line in his first 5 holes of the day on Thursday last week. Like he started the first 4 holes with a birdie streak. So it was crazy. Like I had a couple Schwartzel lines. It was pretty good to see. But you mentioned earlier DraftKings scoring is all messed up, and I kind of agree. Well, you might not have said messed up, but I'm gonna take it that far.
I do think it's messed up.
If you get a hole-in-one in this tournament, you're on the leaderboard. If any of you guys have a guy, if you're checking DK Live and you see that orange bar that says hole-in-one and it's your player, Like you're going to the bank. Like you're gonna be on that winning lineup unless the guy quadruple bogeys on the next hole, which can happen on this type of course. But anyway, let's get into some more of the guys here. But you mentioned Rory, and some people are saying his ownership's not going to be high because of his injury. He doesn't golf that much. But let's be honest, in the Millie Maker, I see you not you're shaking your head there. I agree, man. I already agree. He's going to be highly owned. He's a world. Everyone knows him. U.S. Open, he's strong.
You guys have to understand is that anybody don't overthink this, man, because anybody who goes onto DraftKings, like even a brand new player, like I was saying when I was brand new to DraftKings, I knew who Rory McIlroy was. I would put Rory in my lineup. I'm like, oh, this is one of the best golfers in the game. I'm going to put him in my lineup.
Plus, he's 8 for 8. You see that 8 for 8 is magic.
The things I looked for when I first started, I looked for who they were. I looked for cuts made, and then obviously the salary. And then I looked for how many DraftKings points they were averaging per tournament. So I would, do the whole little tab thing. I would tab it out where DraftKings points. Oh, this guy's really good, and he makes like 8 out of 8 cuts. Oh, this guy's good. So everybody knows Rory. It doesn't matter if he's injured or not, because the casual people don't follow golf enough to know that that injury would affect them at all. So he's going to be highly owned. I wouldn't be surprised if he is the highest owned. I expect DJ to maybe edge him out, but don't be surprised if Rory is up there. So he's going to be highly owned. That being said, he's still a good player, though. It's tough, man. It's tough at this upper echelon.
No, I feel especially for the people that listen to like the media during the week leading up to it. Rory's come out and kind of didn't make fun of Kevin Na specifically, but made fun of the guys that made fun of the fescue and how tough it was. And he just said, man, it's 70 yards wide. If you can't hit it there, you should pack your bags and go home, he said. And that was a terrible accent. But so Rory, if you're following that little narrative, he's pretty much saying it's easy to hit the fairway. So I don't know. I really like him, but I do want to make this point before we get away from Spieth, since we already mentioned him. We said no one's been on this course before, and that is true, except for he in the 2011 U.S. Amateur.
Yeah.
Yesterday you listened and you know that as well, and I think that's very solid for an upper tier guy, because he's a good golfer, and I mean he's probably gotten drunk a lot and may have some cloudy memories, but I'm pretty sure with a course as tough as this, he may know one or two little nicks that they other guys might not. So that's what I got. I'm not really looking at anyone else in the upper range, really. If I lose to Sergio winning the Masters and the U.S. Open in the same year, I'll let it go. I'm not going to be playing any Sergio. John Rahm, I'm also going to be fading personally. This is just purely because with me only having 6 lineups, I can't really cover bases like that. I really have to stand still on like a core. What I'm really going to do is try to play 3 or 4 guys above probably 8.5K, and then like mix in those lower guys, because those are the volatile guys, and I can't afford to like put one like Mark Leishman. Everyone's talking up, but what if he does miss a cut and I got him in all my lines, and like so does 25% of other people? Like it's going to look bad. So, but let's drop down to that. Unless you have any other points on that range there, I do want to get to that to Justin Rose though. If I don't want to skip over him for a second. If you have anything to say about anyone else though.
Yeah, no. I was going to talk about Justin Rose actually, and I was just going to comment on somebody said, "Can you trust Sergio?" Thing with Sergio though is from a DraftKings perspective. Like when I won that 100K, he shot a +1 for the day, and I think he had the second, if not the highest amount of DraftKings points, because he scored an ace. So he's susceptible to getting those lucky aces, eagles. So he's a guy that if you do want to play him, I wouldn't blame you for playing him.
A great ball striker. So guys that can really put the ball where like to the centimeter, guys like that always are going to have a little bit more of an edge in luck. I mean, it's all luck at the end of the day. You can't really say.
Yeah, you can't predict aces or.
Yeah, exactly. It's unpredictable, but still, you can kind of lean your way, maybe. But we have another question real quick. We'll get to that. How many sub 8K guys is too many in a lineup? And honestly, there's not in a Millie Maker, bro. There's not an answer to that.
Yeah,
you're fighting 122,612 other entries. Like you gotta. I heard it on some podcasts. I've been watching a lot recently the last few days, but someone said the $1 million maker, it's literally just first place. It's so enticing. You got to be willing to like burn money, and if it just happens that you cash with that lineup, or better yet, get in like that top 5, or obviously better yet, get first, then that's when it looks good. But like for me, I'm gonna have I'm probably gonna have 3 dead lineups. Half of my lineups are gonna be dead, like 5 holes in with like 1 or 2 of my guys, because I'm gonna be hoping these guys kill it, and it's gonna be like a guy at 6.2. But anyway, I'll get into Justin Rose just a little bit. I think he hasn't been getting. Well, first, I think the worry I have with him, I'll get into the worry I have, is he doesn't really get touted very often, but he always garners that ownership. It's just because he's such a solid play. Last 2 weeks, he hasn't done too well, actually, I don't believe. Let's see. Or not, he didn't golf last week, but last 2 events. Like, he had like these straight top 10s, top 30.
T12 at the BMW, and then he got a T65 at the Players. Then second place in the Masters.
Right, so it's the 65, yes. So not bad at all, actually. All right, it's just that 65 at the Players, which was pretty much blown up by that Sunday that like every golfer had as well. Like, every top guy. And plus the BMW is like one of the strongest fields in the Euro event. So I really like that 12 showing. So Justin Rose, for me, you can fit him. Obviously, we have one of the the lowest, or the, what's the term I'm looking for? The field is so easily priced. I can't remember the term I'm looking for. It's just like
soft
right on the tip of my tongue. But sorry, what'd you say, man?
Soft price.
Yeah, it's real soft. Exactly, it's just real soft, and you can fit guys that have a chance to win at 7K. So you never know. But let's get into that next range there, man.
Yeah, so
unless you have anything else. We were talking about Justin Rose there, so you got.
Yeah, I just wanted to review for everybody here. So I think some of our favorite plays that we both agree on: Justin Rose. We both agreed on Jordan Spieth, and like I said, you can play Sergio, and those are some of our favorite plays. So nobody else really entices you in this. I think Brooks might get slept on by a lot of people, and Adam Scott.
Right.
No, actually, that's next tier. But Brooks, what do you think about Brooks, actually?
Yeah. So Brooks is actually one of those guys that he is actually one guy that I think could come in, other than Stenson, could come in under 10, 12% owned. Like, he might be one of those guys. I only am enticed by his eagle ability, like his long driving here. I have it on. I have my model brought up, and he averages a 303 drive, which is obviously very strong. DJ's at 314, so it's not like DJ's killing him in average drive. And Brooks, supposedly, I know I mentioned this, so you probably know as well. CT Pan tweeted, for the people that are in the YouTube listening live here. CT Pan tweeted that Brooks reached their par 5 that was like 657 or 637 yardage or something like that in 2 shots. I don't know if they're just fucking with us, because usually these guys have they're not very active on Twitter, and when they are, they're usually just joking. So who knows? But Brooks is capable of doing that, and if he can pull off some eagles, like we mentioned, scoring is big, and at 9K, it's not like Brooks is priced up with these top 5 guys. Like, you're not paying for a top 3 if he finishes. Like, if he gets a top 20 and then also get some eagles to get him up to that top 20, I think he's a good play, and I think in the Millie Maker, it's a very solid play, especially if he is coming in at 9 to 12 ownership, like I was about to say FanDuel, but Fantasy Labs is projecting.
Speaking about under 10K plays, can we talk about everybody's favorite golfer, Henrik Stenson? Because someone asked in the questions, why is Stenson so high in price? Reason. First of all, I want to let you guys know Stenson is an amazing golfer. This year, not as much, but he has been trending upward. Players champion, he got a T16, which was a tough field. BMW T3. And then the Nordea Masters, which is like the Masters over there in Europe, T26.
Real quick, Lee Donald used to be number 1 in the world, and look where he's at now. So golf is very volatile, guys. So
it's very volatile.
Things happen, changes happen. So go ahead, man.
I think Stenson, I think if you're doing a single bullet, I probably wouldn't play Stenson, because he could he could get cut, or he could come out and hot and just be so ahead of the pack. If you're doing multiple entries, even 10, 20, I would really consider playing Stinson. I really think a lot of people are going to overlook him, especially people that got burned on him. And a lot of the sharps are going to be on Stinson because they know what he's capable of. Somebody asked about Hideki. What do you think about Hideki?
Ooh, Hideki Matsuyama. I don't think his game fits here, really. I'm worried about his putting. His putting is awful. The only good news is that the greens are real good, like real pristine. So it's not like he can blame it on anything. It's literally him, and I don't know. He is. I just don't see it. I'm not. I'm too strong on Spieth.
Yeah.
And
Spieth can putt.
And Jason Day. I don't know how much I want to go on them because I'm worried that you brought up Brooks now. That scoring, man. Scoring is what's going to get you in that Millie Maker. Exactly. I looked at a little snapshot of like the 2015 U.S. Open Millie Maker winner and like the 2016 one, and like one guy, 2016 was more top heavy loaded in the winner. Like they had the winner, 2 top 2s, like tied 2s, and like everyone was in the top 15. But like the 2015 one, a guy was like 46 in the Millie Maker because he had like not an eagle, but not a hole in one, but like an albatross, something like 3 eagles. I can't remember exactly what it was, but didn't win the event. Didn't get a top 20. So Brooks Koepka, man, you're making me get some exposure on Brooks Koepka here, man.
Yeah, man.
I kind of like it though, because he's a long hitter, and that's what everyone's talking about. So he can just keep it straight, man. He's gonna score.
Yeah, I like Brooks, man. Probably more than I should, but what do you say?
I said my fault there. We got off topic. We were talking about Henrik. No, my bad there, man.
You're good. No. I think we pretty much covered Henrik. Don't sleep on Henrik. I suggest playing him. Maybe 1 or 2 lineups, depending on how many lineups you're doing. But Brooks, yeah, I wouldn't sleep on Brooks, guys, because a lot of sharps are going to be on Brooks. A lot of the casual players are just going to skim right over him. They're not going to be. They're like, Brooks, why would I play for 9,000 when I can get Adam Scott right underneath him or Grace? Some people. Actually, let's. You want to get into the next tier because I feel like we've.
Yeah, man. No worries. And I also want to say, I think green and regulation is going to be important, and that leaves me on Spieth as well, because Spieth is only fourth in green and regulation percentage, with only DJ and Kyle Stanley and Glover better. So just to hammer home, my favorite play in the top range is Spieth personally. DJ is definitely a guy you have to have exposure to in multi-entries. But let's get into I just don't want people to be like, man, you said Spieth, but DJ is going to win the tournament. And if I had DJ in a lineup where I cashed, you have to have DJ. He's the number 1 golfer in the world. But Spieth you can afford to have in a single entry. Like you're not risking duplication too much with Spieth in a single entry. So yes, let's go to that next range there, so I don't get caught up too much there. I'm looking at the prices on Fantasy Labs, so it does take me a second to switch to these.
I'm on the website right now. So yeah, let's work from this is where the meat of a lot of people's lineups are going to work. Let's work from this 8K. 7K is way too packed. So I guess we'll just cover 8K real quick and then we'll hit down to 7K. All right. So I think somebody asked about one of these guys, Brandon Grace. What do you think about Brandon Grace?
I'm not too on him. I thought he was going to be under, or he wasn't going to be touted too much. But it seems like a lot of people are touting him because he doesn't have much exposure, much exposure to the public. He's not one of those guys, like the guys in the 10K range, from South Africa. Doesn't get a lot of media exposure. Did win an event, I believe this year. If not this year, he's the defending champion, or he was the defending champion of the RBC Heritage, I believe. And he's a very solid golfer, very accurate. I just like too many guys around 8,600, especially with what I've been hearing recently about his touts. I see the ownership on Fantasy Labs as being between 9 and 12. They don't update it that often, and I don't really follow that. I kind of create my own because that's the one thing that you kind of got to create your own. You probably agree with there, but 8,600 a little too much for me, man, especially in a field like this. Maybe 80, maybe 8K flat, maybe 81. But for me, 86, no, sir. What about you, Matt?
I'm kind of agreeing with you there. Grace, if I'm gonna pay up for Grace, I might as well pay up for Adam Scott. I rather do. Yeah, I don't know. Grace, yeah, it's the fade for me, man. But
Trent just mentioned Paul Casey, and I want to mention that Paul Casey, man, is one of those guys that he can go. He's going to go out there and he's going to start strong and then kind of just sit and just sit and sit and he just like par, maybe bogey, par, and just it's like, man, you birdied 3 out of the first 5 holes, and then now you're just like sitting back. It's like you could win this tournament in the first 36 holes like by Saturday, and I don't know, man. And he's very sneaky, I believe, especially in a field like this. Paul Casey is not that. He doesn't have that shock to him, that feel. Like when you say Paul Casey, you're not like, oh, $1 million. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like not to the average player. And I think he's going to be a sharper play this week, in my opinion. Plus, he's got a pretty nice wife as well. She
should be a sharper play. I wouldn't sleep on Paul Casey too much, but I just want to say some of these DraftKings numbers real quick. So just like Dexter was saying, Paul Casey, he'll start off hot and then he'll just par, which is good for placement wise. But as far as DraftKings, let's look at these numbers here. He got T6 in the he got 6th place solo, 6th place in the Masters, which is good. 79 points. It's not bad, but 6th place, 79. He had 16 birdies, which was good. He had 12 bogeys, 44 pars, so decent. Another tough field. He got the Players T22, 67 points, 67.5 points. So he's someone that I wouldn't say to fade, but I mean, I'm not gonna be overweight on him. I definitely, if I want some safer players, maybe to balance out my lineup, I'd play a Paul Casey, but I definitely wouldn't be overweight on Paul Casey.
Right. I agree there. So let's drop down a couple more names here.
So 8K range. We skipped over Adam Scott.
Well, first I was gonna say honestly, we don't even need to talk about Adam Scott. I think he's gonna be top 3 highest owned. He's a little underpriced. He's like the opposite of Grace, and I think that I don't know. I don't think Grace is gonna come that high owned unless people go Adam Scott and Grace in the same lineup because Grace is the pivot off Scott, but I believe Scott is gonna be so highly owned, and he's one of those birdie makers. I don't have the stats brought up. I tried to bring them up here. I got a few brought up that we can look up. And since we mentioned Paul Casey, I do want to ring off. He is 7th, T7 with Sergio in greens and regulation percentage on tour this year. I wish I could get these in the last 12 rounds. And that's something Pat Mayo said he's working on. Even if it's a few bucks a week, I'd pay for that. That's something very solid because I'm a big recent form guy because golf is almost similar to baseball. Like if you're hot, you're going to ride that hot wave.
Yeah, definitely. Quick question: do you think
it's going? Go ahead.
You think there's any way that Phil makes this tournament?
No, there's not going to be a weather delay on Thursday. I don't think. I thought the weather delay could be on Friday now. At this point, with the weather.
Yeah, I've been looking at the weather, and last I saw was like a little bit of showers. But
I think it's kind of mean how he's doing this because he's going to wait all the way till tomorrow morning when there's literally no chance. He's like, all right, I can't do it. And then some alternate's going to have to fly over there, or he's probably already sitting over there waiting to play.
I read up on that, actually. The alternate is actually there. He's been there since a couple of days ago, and he's been practicing. He said he's not.
So when Phil tries to fly out there, it's like, oh, nope, you're done, bud.
Yeah, he actually said that he's expecting Phil to try to make it. He's really hoping for somebody else to get sick or withdraw. But I honestly, at this point, I really don't think Phil's gonna be able to make it. I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow pull the strings for him to make it out there, man.
Right.
And then that ownership, he's gonna be so low owned because, he probably won't even be that low owned because casual players will still play him, but he'll be lower owned than normal.
They'll have some crazy shit where he announces he's not going to show up, and then they have a fescue cut break. There's some fescue problem, and then they got to cut it, and then he's like, you know what? Oh, sorry, my dog just, I don't know, he coughed, I guess, but And then like fescue cutting, and then like he just shows up and it's like, I made my tee time, boys. That'd be some wild. He'd be like 0.6% owned and go out there in like top 10.
I'm kind of conflicted from like a max entry kind of perspective because like, am I just burning money trying to get cute and play Phil, or is there there's some chance that he can make it there and have him at low ownership? It's tough call.
Definitely would not go more than like 2%. I don't know. I would play Phil with like the chalkiest of chalky lineups in like one entry, like Leishman. I don't know, like Kisner or like whoever you're high on. I guess like just all the chalk guys, just to throw them in there because I don't know. But I mean that's all you. But let's Paul Casey real quick. His putter strokes gained putting is like 127th, so not very good. 125th. Let me just say the guys below him are guys like Andrew Lupe, KJ Choi. Actually, Brandon Grace is 129th there. So very interesting. I feel I'm very high on putting this week because I think guys that get 25-foot putts or 20-foot putts are with these nice greens that are very good putters. I think they're going to be able to make them, while guys that get those 15, 20-foot putts, since it is such a long course, you're not going to be able to hit the ball right to the pin over and over again. You're going to have some longer putts, and I don't see many guys hitting them unless they're actually good putters. Like the luck's not going to go. Luck's not going to go well this week, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Justin Thomas. Somebody asked about him. I love Justin Thomas. I think everybody loves Justin Thomas.
Right. Especially at the price.
Yeah, at 8.3, it's pretty, I think it's a steal. Definitely a great play. Yeah, I think everybody's going to be on Justin Thomas, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. He's definitely a strong scorer. He's 8th in tee to green. We'll bring up these par 5 scoring here in a second. He's 29th in putting, so that's not bad. If it is, because some of these guys aren't in the field. Like Michael Thompson 2nd, Luke Donald's 3rd. Some dude named Gonzalo Fidesz Castano, who I've seen in a couple of terms, is 5th. So not everyone's in the field. So he's really like probably 15th, 16th in the field in putting. So he matches in a lot of areas, and he's been coming on strong recently. Plus, this year he got like 2 first places in a row very early on in small tournaments, but still very good golfer and good friends with Spieth, man. I might hit that combo.
Yeah, are they
the Bikers Bay or whatever they win? I can't remember, but
yeah, I love Justin Thomas. What I'm fading Bubba, or are you playing or fading Bubba?
Oh, I'm not playing Bubba, man. I don't know. I when I started playing golf DFS when he was like in his not his prime, but like he was still a very nice option, like 9K, 9.4 or something like that. He didn't fall off of the log like he has recently. And now he burned me because I was playing him even when he fell off the log, hoping that would be his 1 week coming back, and it never happened. And now it slowly is. So I see why people are coming on him, especially at his price. It's kind of getting him before he hits his prime again, or he comes back to life, so to speak. So I can see playing him, especially in a mass multi-entry, definitely. But in a single entry, I'm gonna have trouble doing it. It's a good leverage play, I think, because a lot of people are just like me, are gonna have some qualms about doing that. You know what I mean? Is because he's so risky. But if he does pull it off in a single entry, you're gonna look real good.
Yeah, I can't do it, man. Masters got cut, Players Champion got cut. This is a lot of the same field. Last week is the week that everybody's talking about pretty much at T6, where he had 104 DraftKings points. I can't do it. Myron Kidd said European players are the way to go, going to be low owned in course condition fits what they go through on the Euro Tour. Myron Kidd, I agree with you 100%. My only gripe with that is I like to when I look at European players, I like to weigh. I'm not gonna say the European tournaments are easier, but they're easier. The field at least is easier. It's more, I guess, top heavy.
There's only like 30 guys that have a chance. All the rest are local.
Yeah,
But go ahead.
exactly.
Sorry to
So, no problem. So when I look at a player from European, for me personally, I have to make sure he's played in some of these PGA tournaments with this field, and I like to see how he places in these tougher fields. I think players who have only played Euro tournaments are going to be very sneaky, like he's saying. They're going to be low on definitely, but I would definitely research thoroughly, previous years to see what these guys have done if they haven't played any PGA tournaments. I don't know if you'd agree with that, Dexter, or if you have your own.
Right. No, I do. The only guys that really I think stand out in terms of like having that experience in stronger fields in the European events are guys like Wiesberger these are going to be the guys that are very popular though. So it's not like these are gems because this isn't a new narrative. Like a lot of these people are on these European guys, not even just because they're going to be low owned and not as well known, even though some of them are just as good golfers. There's this wind narrative as well as rain narrative coming in on Friday that might be some strong wind coming in late Friday, like 10, 15 miles per hour. So that could affect some players, and a lot of those European guys are better with the wind. And that's why I think a lot of people are on Bubba. I don't want to take it off, but Bubba is very good at fading the ball and framing shots, just like Phil a little bit. So guys on the European tour as well, like Ross Fisher, who I really like, is going to be lower owned than guys like Bernd Wiesberger and Molinari. And I want to maybe Keimer. I think Keimer is actually losing some touts. I guess like he came out hot early. Like a few weeks ago, people were always talking him up early. I was like, oh, get your bets in, and now he's kind of like falling back. But not to go overboard there. I do agree though. So to bring some plays out of that, I just think ownership is going to be a little higher than it should be because I've played Bernd Wiesberger before in PGA events, and he hasn't like done really well. It's tough. It's like Molinari a little bit. He can really never turn the corner for me, and like get that top 3 and like possibly win the event. Like Molinari last week, if he didn't turn it around Friday, like he was sitting at +2 at the end of his day on Thursday. It looked like he was going to miss cut if he didn't turn around. Then he shot like -4, and then he came on, but didn't finish well after that. He still finished like -2, -3. So after Saturday, it's not like he like came on like Berger did. So, if you have any other extra take on those European guys or wherever you want to take it after that, go ahead, man. I'm just gonna bring up the par 5 stats for this real quick before I forget, and we can look up some guys because I think those are gonna be big. And just what's your take on all that stuff, man? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, like I said before, definitely want to do your research. I think we're going to get into some of these players now, actually, into this 7K range, which is stacked with a shit ton of really good plays, and it's going to be a lot of chalky plays in this 7K range. So whenever you're done with your research, we can start hitting the 7K range.
Oh, no, it's cool. I was just going to – all the names we brought up, I was going to bring them up and just kind of lay them off for the people that were, like, just in the chat that didn't really either have access to it or didn't want to do it. But
okay.
Let's see here. I was just gonna go to like name by name there. So we just want to go one by one here, or do you want to kind of do like who you like, who you don't like? What do you want to do?
Well, do you want to?
Do we want to talk about guys in this range? We got a lot of guys in the 7K range. It's gonna be a.
Yeah, no, I for the 7K range, I was just thinking of going over some of our favorite plays and chalkier plays, and then some.
Right, I can tell you the top 3, one of the top 3 highest owned guys on the slate, and I already know who it is in this range.
Who are you talking about? Oh, are you talking about Peters?
Yeah, man, he's gonna be up there. So many. I said it in the last video, so I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but for all those sharps missed Thomas Peters at the Masters, man, and they're eating themselves, man. So or they're biting themselves. So man, I don't see them missing him again, and this could be a fade for me. I mean, I'm gonna have some exposure to him, because you definitely cannot let a guy at his price range go out there and beat you. Like if he gets a top 3, you got to have 1 or 2 lineups with him to at least have a chance. Like we mentioned earlier, at price ranges like that, you really gotta give yourself a chance. I am going to have mostly a fade on him though. I'm definitely going to be way underweight. Field's probably going to be, I think, Peters at 30%. He's projected on labs here at what I brought up at 17 to 20. You think? Let's go a little over under. You think over under 20%? What do you think on Peters in the Millie Maker?
Probably. Everybody's been talking about Peters, man. I gotta say over 20%.
Agreed.
But I don't feel like most of like casual fans are gonna. I don't think many people are gonna go to Peters from the casual side. I feel like from a DraftKings perspective, yeah, I can say over 20. I can say over 20%.
Real quick, yeah, Brooks Koepka is 4th in par 5 birdie or better leaders. Hideki is actually number 1. Spieth number 2. Fowler number 3. So very interesting there. That just kind of shows the world class golfers or the high scorers, pretty much. Anyway, all right. Not to get off topic there, I just wanted to mention that mainly for Spieth and Brooks, mainly because Brooks is that sneaky guy for the scoring. So we can drop down to anyone else, even if you want to cover. I think Snedeker is that one GPP play that no one's going to play, or Fleetwood at 7-4. Those are the two guys I think are going to be the lowest owned reasonably. I mean, there's a lot of guys in this range, but I think that have upside. Those are going to be the two lowest owned that have reasonable upside.
All right. For this range, let's go back to our original. Let's say some of our favorite plays and then some of our fades. Jordan Lucas.
Probably a good idea there. My bad.
Here we're good. Jordan Lucas said he's fully fading Peters. Fuck it. See, the thing is too, though. The thing is too is like just because somebody's high owned or chalk doesn't mean you should just auto fade them. Like if they're gonna score a lot of points, if they're gonna do well, and you just fading them just for ownership's sake, then you're really gonna give yourself a disadvantage. So it works, both ways. Like we both know if you fade him and he does poorly, it's a win. But if you just fully fade him and he goes off, then you're already behind the competition. So just because somebody's going to be higher owned, don't think of it as just an automatic fade. Think of it, like I said, from a point perspective. But anyways, so some of my favorite plays from the 7K range. There's so many good plays here too. You literally like miss a match. I still like Peters, even though he's going to be highly owned. I think I hate Kuchar and I love Kuchar. I like Kuchar, I guess. Noren, I don't know what to think about Noren. I think Noren could be good.
Yeah, he's the 8th golfer in the world. Ranking. So
so many people have been hyping him up too. Let's see here.
And his odds have actually gone down. I might have mentioned that earlier, but he went from 50 to 55, which you got to kind of take that with a grain of salt, I guess. But I mean, that means money's not really going on him. So I don't know.
Yeah. So he could be. So the Masters, he got cut. Players, he got 10th place. Then the Nordea Masters got T15, and then BMW got first. So Noren could be a good play. I do like Noren, but I guess my favorite play so far would. I love Kisner at this price. He's gonna be chalky. I love him. 7.5 for a guy who's been really golfing well recently, coming off a win. Then T6. I love Kisner. Okay, now this is the guy I want to talk about. Is Hatton. What do we do with Hatton here, man?
Best putter on tour, European Tour, and PGA Tour, actually. But it's one of those, man. I knew, man. Hatton's is that's why I wanted to set it up so it's our favorite plays, our fades, and ours. Like I don't know, man, because Hatton is that guy this week.
I have to cover Hatton, though.
Bro, Hatton can be the Peters of the Masters, and I swear to God, I see it. Yeah, Hatton, if his ball placing, I mean his not placing, if his ball striking is on point this week, we already know his putter should show up. That like no one's used this course in 8 months. This course is pristine on the greens. He has chance of making 40-foot putts off of the fringe by like if he had to. So
let me give a little.
Go ahead.
Let me give a little backstory for Hatton for some of the people who are newer to golf.
Of course.
Hatton was statistically wise kills it, man. He kills it. And for the beginning of the season, I would when I seen Hatton on the sheet, I would auto play him. He's one of those the Euro guys who I was talking about before has shown up in PGA events. Like previously at the Arnold Palmer, he got a T4, WGC, he got T10, Honda Classic a T4. Like that's the number you want to see from these Euro guys. It's them showing up not just in these Euro events, but in these PGA events. And then literally like out of nowhere, I think he was one of the highest owned people at the Masters. He shoots an 80 and a 78, just blows up. So that's the biggest thing for me is I know statistically he can kill it. He is one of those guys. He's like a Kyle Stanley in my eyes. Statistically, he kills just like Kyle Stanley should win every week. Like there's no reason Kyle Stanley statistically shouldn't win every week. But Tyrell Hatton, he can be a head case, man. And we saw that at the Masters. And that's my biggest thing is at these packed events, at these big events, the majors, guys with head cases are guys you typically want to fade. Now, like Dexter was saying, though, man, he could come out and if he's on, like he could win this thing. Like he's that good to where he could win this thing. So I like Hatton. I will be playing Hatton. Just would I recommend him for a cash lineup? No. But
Agreed.
for a GPP, I definitely pick Hatton.
All right. I'm honestly fine with skipping Patrick Reed. If Patrick Reed wins this U.S. Open and makes me regret not rostering him, I'll be okay. No Patrick Reed for me. I'm fine with skipping him. Man, there's no. I actually might. I got to give a shout out to Roy. I don't know if he's in this video, but he posted some of the odds for guys to make the cut. And I just went straight to look for Patrick Reed's. I didn't actually find it because it was kind of jumbled. Or I think it was Seth that posted him, copy and pasted him, but. I tried to find Patrick Reed, and I was going to bet no, he misses the cut because, man, I can just see Patrick Reed shooting +8 through like 5 holes to start. But right under him, at least according to Fantasy Labs, I don't know if it's the same on DraftKings in order, but I have Louis Oosthuizen, and he has been going crazy on the RLM, on the line movement, man. It is nuts. And I don't know if his ownership's going to follow because I think you may have mentioned it earlier. If not, he's not one of those commonplace golfers with the mainstay or with the common fans.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my flip side of that. I'm gonna make sure we didn't because people are asking in the chat. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get to Steele, guys. I'll get to Ross Fisher. Yeah. So Luis, everybody has been talking about this guy. Honestly, I've heard Peters and I've heard Luis the most. And the thing too is he pops up, those two too, they pop up in mottos a lot. Any motto I look in, Luis is up there. So he's gonna be higher definitely on the DraftKings side. Now from the casual side, from the casual side, nobody really knows him, but like I said, I used to look for cuts out of cuts made. This guy has a perfect record of 9 out of 9. So when you roster this guy, you're not going to get him at low ownership. You're not going to get him like he was 2-3 weeks ago. That would have been great. But I think I love him. He fits stats fit. Great player, makes cuts. So that mentality's there. If I pull up some of his recent events, let's see what we got here. So Players Championship PHAT T2 scored 97 DraftKings points. The Masters tournament the week before, that last event he went before that, T41. Not too good, but still got you 51 DraftKings points. I like Luis, and I will be playing him. I'm sure Dex is the same way.
Yes. The only thing that I don't like is just the ownership that might follow. It's not so much in the Millie Maker, because the upside that he has, like one of those guys that's mispriced according to Vegas odds, like he's 40-1 now. At 7,400, I can't fade that in a Millie Maker because there's just too much upside. Even at 25% ownership, if he gets there, you can't fade a first or second place at 7,400. So in a single entry, he'll still be at that 25%, I believe. So I can fade that because I'd rather lose like $500, maybe $1,000 if Louis wins and I fade him in a single entry, and than losing $1 million if I don't play him or something like that. So I do like Louis, and I think the hype is real because that line movement is big, and I think he's gonna do well. It comes down to me. I don't have the stat brought up. I don't remember off the top of my head. I've been crunching a lot of numbers, but his bogey avoidance, and that's tough because bogey avoidance is a tough stat to interpret for this week because this course is so different than other courses. It's very long, and you can't really compare to many. So I don't know. It just shows guys that are real cautious. And someone mentioned Steele earlier. We're gonna get to him, and that just to foreshadow him a little bit. He's very high on the bogey avoidance stat. So if you got anyone else right there, let it fly, man. I'm honestly not really invested in anyone here until highly invested until probably Shane Lowry or maybe Charles Schwartzel, but
yeah.
No Bayo for me, man, personally.
I'm right there with you on Bello. Yeah, I can't do it. Let's see here. Players Championship, got a T4.
Yeah, price went down a little bit too. I just think his ownership's going to be a little bit higher than it should be. Like I think I don't want to say it's too tough for him because these are world-class golfers, but this to me, if I was a gambling man, which I am, I would gamble that he finishes above par in a way that isn't good. Like maybe makes the cut, but doesn't contend really. And I like guys in his range that will actually contend because everyone in this field can really contend. There's guys at almost all price ranges that can contend, so I can't really risk it on him because I personally don't think he will contend at all.
Yeah, 7K range is so packed with like almost any one of these, really any one of the guys that we talked about to this point, you can play. Yeah, but I don't think I'll be playing Bello. Swartzel, I could see playing. Did somebody ask about Swartzel? No.
I think they meant Steve Stricker.
Yeah, Stricker.
Or wait, were you talking about Yeah, Curtis said Striker, but I think he meant Steve Stricker, and we'll get to him. I think he's 7,300, so we can talk about him. Yeah. He's like the big narrative guy of the week.
Yeah,
I actually haven't heard too much about him, but Myron Kid real quick mentioned Matthew Fitzpatrick, and he's actually not being talked about too much. I've heard him twice mentioned, and not from any YouTube touts or anything like that, just from some people I know that also play DFS golf. So we'll get into him. I'm looking at him. He's pretty cheap, so. We'll look into that, but ACP, what else you got for me, man? Anything else?
Yeah. So far as plays I like, I think he can be a little. I don't know if he'll be sneaky anymore, but I definitely think I like him. You know who I want to talk about actually? Before we get to Stricker, Russell Henley. What do you think about Russell, man? Coming off 2 straight cuts.
Man, I was a complete fade like when I started my research, but it turns out, man, when the space is open for him, when he's got like he sucks when it's real cramped, when the fairways are real tight. But when they're open, man, when he has room to miss, so to speak, where he has room to miss, but he doesn't really miss. It's just not prime. He can recover, and that's what I like to see because I think he can recover this week, and I think in his ownership, he's going to be.
I think he's gonna be lower owned, man, because he missed 2 consecutive cuts. He could be a sneaky play, man.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's going to be lower owned. That's what I'm saying. So he's going to that's why I like him. I don't think. I mean, over under 8%. What do you think?
8%. I'll probably say around.
A little bit of a name. He does have a little bit of a name, but I don't think he's like. It's not like. No, like yeah, man. I don't know. Plus, it looks his stats don't really ring out.
I can see. I could see anywhere from 5 to 8% is what I could see.
I agree. It's a solid. I do think though it's a very solid leverage play. If you can find world-class golfers that contend and win events at that price, like at that low of ownership, it's almost like I don't want to say an auto play in the $1 million maker because that's going to sound bad. But if you're mass multi entering a guy like Henley that at that price that has the ability to win, you got to play him.
So for people like newer to golf, like this is the guy Henley, man. Not too long ago, he won the Shell Houston Open. Shot a -20, got 135 DraftKings points. The week after that, the Masters T11. So both of these are, pretty tough fields. So this guy, he can compete in these tougher fields, man. RBC Heritage up to that T26. Players Championship wasn't too good. He had T35, which isn't bad, but you don't want that from this type of player. He's coming off 2 straight cuts. I like him, especially like Dexter was saying, more open fairways, more chances for him to miss. I think I just talked myself into getting more exposure to this guy because I think a lot of people are going to be Myron Kidd. A lot of people are going to be like you, man. They're going to be like, well, he burned me last time. These last 2 times I played him, I'm not going to play him. Even today when I was building lineups, I would kind of like skip over Henley, scroll down. So I think I like Henley actually.
Yeah, man, he's top 25 in greens and regulation. I got them all brought up here. Sorry, my bad. I just wanted to see this quick 4 real quick. 56, so he's dropped considerably actually, and par 5 birdie or better.
I think that's the last 2 weeks though too.
Yeah, that's probably got a lot to do with it there. 14th in putting though, so that's actually something I want to mention. Russell Henley recently, obviously not, but usually has a very strong putter, and I've mentioned this actually multiple times, and I'm sure Andrew is focusing on it as well. Putting is going to be pretty important here. Guys that can hit solid putts are going to be good, and Henley is one of those guys. And just to list off a few, I don't want to get crazy in here, but a few of these guys in the top 10 that are in the field. I mean, we actually have Cabrera Bello, who I'm actually fading. I just don't think he keeps up the hot streak, and with that hot streak, people are going to play him, I believe. We've got Schwartzel in the top 10. Then we got Henley, Snedeker. We got some Stuart Sink, Martin Keimer. And then we got Steve Stricker, who we need to talk about a little bit. Kisner and Koepka with Louis Oosthuizen and JT in 29th, rounding out the top 30 in the field. So that's some very strong golfers and some guys that almost everyone, like very common plays. Like all those guys are going to be chalkier plays. Like none of those guys are sneaky because they are very good golfers like Stricker, Kisner, Koepka, Oosthuizen. All those guys that we mentioned aren't going under the radar. You know what I mean? It's there's a reason they're being chalkier plays are being talked up. It's because putting's important. You know what I mean? If all those guys fit in that category there. So, yeah, man. I am getting a little sleepy here, and I do got to make my lineups. But we can roll through because their value is what's going to win it, I think. And there are actually quite a few names I like real down low. Yeah, I have no stats on this guy, but Yao Tong Lee. We're going to talk about this guy here in a second.
But so we're almost done with the 7K. Because it's gonna be the bulk, and then we'll get to those Val plays. So right underneath him is Adam Hadwin, though, who also been trending downward, coming off a cut. What do you think about Adam Hadwin, man?
Man, he's one of those darlings. Like he's like Brandon Steele, man. He's like everyone's like, man, he's gonna make a cut, automatic cut maker, and then he breaks it, man. He just ends it, and then people are like, all right, I don't trust him anymore. And I think I'm the same way, man. I haven't played Hadwin in quite a few weeks, actually, man. And he's back at that price where I'm kind of worried because he's one of those guys just like Cabrera Bello or even Louis that can win the event, like or even Russell Henley. All these guys can win, and that's what I'm worried about. But that's what the thing is, man. You got to make a stand, and Adam Hadwin, I think too much ownership is going to come with him, so I'm gonna make a stand and find some guys. Like I think Woodland. I don't want to go mention too many names here, but I think Woodland may be a solid pivot, top 25 in greens and regulation. I think he's also very good in par 5 scoring, or par 4. It's one or the other. I don't have par 4 brought up, but yeah, man. I think Charlie Hoffman's going to go very underlooked as well. Even Brandon Steele, your boy.
Yeah, okay, so someone asked about Steele. I mean, I got a soft play for Steele. He's one of those guys, man. Like, I don't really care about ownership for Steele. I think it's one of those guys, like, if you want somebody who's going to make the cut, to pretty much, he's one of those guys to finish your lineup off, in my opinion. Like, if you want somebody relatively cheap and somebody who can go out in these tough fields, like the Players Championship, got a T6, scored 82 draft points, Masters T27, so he can compete in these majors. Put him in your lineup. Yeah, I got no gripes with Steele. He's still a Steele, man. He always finds a way to make the cut somehow. Like the last couple of times I rostered him, I thought there's no way he'd make it, and he made it. So he's one of those guys where he's pretty consistent. I have no gripes about him. I don't know if you have anything else to add on to that, Dex.
No, not about Steele. I do want to, before we go past him, Steve Stricker real quick. It's kind of just the narrative of the week. He's he was like born and raised about 15, 20 minutes away from Erin Hills, Wisconsin. And he wasn't able to qualify until a regional event like 3 days before the St. Jude. The Monday before the St. Jude, he played a regional event and qualified there, and then withdrew subsequently from the St. Jude to practice for the U.S. Open. And this is kind of his dream. He's getting real old. He hasn't won the U.S. Open yet. So if you are playing a narrative, I don't think as you can see, I'm on Labs here. I don't know if you are as well or on DK, but everyone's ownership around him is 2 to 4, like Hadwin, Henley, Woodland, and then they have Strickers at 5 to 8. So it's we're not the only ones on this narrative. A lot of people know that Stricker's really trying to do something well here, like try to win. For that sake, I don't know if I want to play him or not. I'm mainly bringing this up because someone asked about him. Stricker is one of those guys where when there's a narrative, you have to understand that there's going to be extra ownership, and if you're willing to take on that extra ownership, like, do you think that narrative really matters? And to me, I don't. I think this is such a tough golf course. I think this field is so strong that Stricker is really, for him to hang, he's gonna have to play one of the best rounds of his life Thursday or Friday, and I don't see that happening. He's kind of old. He moved to the senior tour earlier, and he was too good for it, so they sent him back up. Essentially, I don't know if that's really what happened, but it looks like it because he's back on the PGA Tour because he was like second, and first. Hey, what I heard was like him and Bernard Bernard Lager or whatever. They would just go back and forth with winning it. It was crazy, but I don't want to go too far on that. But I do like Stricker, but I'm gonna fade him just because there's gonna be extra ownership, just because he wants to win. Everyone wants to win.
I would fade him. If you're really big on narratives and you're doing multi entries, maybe throw him in a lineup or two. But strictly from a DraftKings perspective, like he's not scoring enough points for me. And getting birdies enough for me. Like even at the Players Championship where he had a T41, 54 points. Masters, he has a T16, only has 68. It's not doing it for me. There's too many people in his range that I think can legitimately win this thing and score more DraftKings points than him. It's a fade for me for him.
Agreed. He's not a high scorer. He won't eagle for us too much. I don't believe.
Exactly.
Especially how long it is.
You need these eagle makers and these millie makers, man. You need these points.
All right, so we only got a couple more chalky guys left here because we're at the bottom of 7K, and then we'll get down to, there's a few down there at 6,700 we got to get to, but for right now it looks just like Molinari and Keimer kind of going to be those two.
Well, everybody's asking about Wiesberg too.
Ooh, Wiesberg. Yeah, we talked a little bit about him at the beginning, not too much in depth, but just one of the most solid Euro guys coming off the tour. He's consistently. I know many of us don't play Euro DFS, but if you ever go over there, he's kind of like one of these Spieth's DJs. He's always 10K or higher, never cheaper. So like, if anyone in the Euro department's playing the Millie Maker, you might see Wiesberger is not as sneaky as everyone thinks. Honestly, the stats are popping. Like people are talking about him. That's because
he's at the top of a few of my models actually. So he's not going to be too sneaky. That 12 out of 12 cuts made, so a casual player is nice. So if you're trying to roster him just for ownership's sake, he's not going to be sneaky. But he's a good play. He's a good golfer. He's a great golfer. Trying to speed it up a little bit.
Yeah, man. I'm yawning over here, man. I still gotta make all 6 of my lineups. That's not good.
I'm not on summer haze. Are you?
Oh, no summer haze, man. It's no haze for me, man. It's a risky one though, because he's gonna be one of those 2% guys that you really don't know. But no, I'm not gonna take that chance. I'm not. No way.
You said you're in Hao Tong Lee though,
dude. I'm not lying to you. I have no stats on him. I'm literally. I don't even remember what podcast I heard him on. I've been listening to so many. I heard his name, and they said he's like one of those next like bright like younger like golfers, and I mean, dude, I'm gonna let it slide in one, man. I mean, you look at him, he got a 30 in the BMW PGA Championship. Like this dude is literally gonna be unowned. Like you got to give him a shot, in my opinion, in a million maker chance, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's worth a punt. Yeah, but I wouldn't garner too much ownership for Tong Lee.
I'd put him with my strongest plays. Like I'll probably personally, I don't want to give out any like a full lineup here, but I'd put him with Spieth. For me, he'd be in there with like Spieth for sure, maybe like Justin Rose as well, and that's where I'd maybe start a lineup with them, just because those are two of my strongest feeling plays. That's where I'd go if I'm playing Hao Tong Lee. I wouldn't be playing Hao Tong Lee with Summer Hayes and guys like that though, because that's just putting too much risk into one lineup.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's round out our 7Ks here. So we got some chalkier guys: Kmart, Molinari, and Hoffman.
I don't think Hoffman's going to be shocked at all. I think he's looked.
Yeah, Kmart, Molinari, I meant, and then Hoffman is rounding.
Right, Molinari is moving big in movement as well.
He's going to be chalk. I agree. I've heard everybody say his name. And for good reason. This guy performs.
Especially in big events.
Yeah, he puts up pretty decent numbers. T6 at the Players. Masters got T33. Tougher field, but Molinari at 7K too. I'll have me some Molinari.
Agreed. Yes, sir. And then there's a few plays down in that 6,900 range. I'm actually completely fine with skipping it. I'm not going to be playing any of them. The only one that's kind of high in my model is actually Peter Uihlein, but he's not. I'm not playing him.
I differ from Dexter here. I actually like Peter. I think Peter 6,900. He's shown that he can perform in these harder fields. See the Puerto Rican Open T5, Shell Houston T23, Memorial T25. At 6,900 for a guy to go out and put up 81 points, that's kind of hard for me to fade, man. What's this question here? Jay Poston, Walker, Leishman, around that price. Oh, he's asking about this price range.
We're gonna get to Leishman down here in a second. They're way down there.
So I like Peter. Not gonna be too heavy on him, but I do like Peter. Let's see. Anybody else in this price range? What do you think about Webb Simpson?
Nah, man, he's a good scorer, a good birdie maker, but in this for distance wise, I won't be on any Webb Simpson personally. The one guy that I do, let me see, I did have him here. The one definitely, obviously, only millie maker dart throw for me would be Martin Laird at 6,900, just at that specific price. not in that range, just that's price. Just because he's shown that he can really – first, he's shown he can make the cut in a big field. Second, he's shown that if his game is fully there, he can get in that top 15, top 20 area and really make a name for himself. But to go down 100 lower, I mean, we're going to see one of the chalkiest plays, I think, on the slate, Byung-Han An. At least for obviously in the price range. I mean, the guy, 15 for 15 and made cuts now this year and hasn't had gone up in price at all?
Don't get me started on he's going to be chalky, and for good reason. 13 at 13. I don't know why he's still 6,800, to be honest, in my opinion. He's just, man, I say play him. I definitely will have good amount of exposure to him. He's going to be chalky. That 13 at 13 cuts looks appeasing to everybody. He's into so many lineups well. He's like, you can be top heavy and then 6,800 for a guy like him. Like,
it's crazy, man.
Yeah, I like him. What do you think about Dirt McGirt?
Hey, real quick, man, I'm just curious. I don't want to get off topic here, but did you actually? I'm just curious. What out of the 150 lineups you made? What was the biggest? How much money did you leave on the table? Like, what was the biggest gap in money you left on the table in one of your lineups? Like, did you have any lineup that was just like fucking like off the walls? Like you left like 4K on the table or anything like that?
Yeah, I'd have to actually look at them. I don't want to leave the screen but yeah, I think some off the wall ones or some of the ones my optimizers did, because I definitely did a minimal of a lot lower than normal. So there were some of them that, were literally like maybe high 6K range guys to 8K range guys. So there was definitely some ones with remaining salary. Yeah.
And don't be scared to do that, guys. I mean, with the single bullet, it feels like, what am I fucking doing? But really, like, you really have a good chance. Like, everyone we've covered has a chance of really doing well in this event, or at least doing better than their salary. The guys that are really low, like we're talking about below Leishman and below, I don't know how low you guys are really trying to go, but after about 6,700, we're starting to kind of run out of names. Ross Fisher at 66 is kind of the only one below 6,700 I'd go. I don't want to skip anyone, so let's go back up. But
what do you think about Dirt McGirt?
I'm not looking good, but Dirt McGirt, yeah. He's shown he can be a strong scorer with the par fives, as he like in the Memorial, not the Memorial, Gina DeLuca maybe. One of those, he eagled 2 holes in one round, 2 par fives in one round. So from a scoring perspective, I always have a little soft spot for him since I was on him that week. But I don't think this is the week to play him personally. His price is right though. He's not overpriced, so I may take a dart on him, especially with low ownership, because everything is going right except my gut. Like, no ownership's on him. A longer course. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just my gut saying this isn't it. I don't know. What do you think, man? Flip me over if you're on him. But what do you think?
I think we all know McGirt, man. Like, he'll come out first 2 rounds and be at the top of the leaderboards, and then slowly but steadily fall off. If you're looking at it from a purely DraftKings perspective, like we've been trying to do from a scoring perspective, the points you've scored recently was 95 DraftKings points, and that was at the RBC Heritage in April, and he had a T3. So do we think he's going to come out here and get a T3 again? I mean, this course kind of sets up for him to be getting those eagles and birdies that we want. So I definitely think you can play him. I think William McGirt is playable.
Right. I was actually just looking at. I don't have my monitor brought up because I want to be able to see when you're talking as well. So I mean, I have my labs brought up, but I can't see everything because it's like half and half. But I have McGirt's like par 5 scoring brought up, and he shoots under par in his last 4 events have all been under par and par 5s. But in par 4 and par 3, he has been over par in his last 5 events. Both, each one, he's been over par. So he's really being saved by par 5s and this week if he isn't saved by those 630-yard par fives, which like a lot of bombers are gonna have access to. It's not like he hit himself and one or two others are only gonna be, or like the only two that are gonna eagle. There might be some strong bombers that get some eagles in. We'll see, because that one par five that's like 650. Man, we'll see. I highly doubt it's gonna have to be like a hole out where like some lucky shit, but we'll see.
Somebody asked about Levy.
Oh yeah, Alex Levy. Yeah. Unknown. Not on the. Yeah, he's mainly on the European tour.
I don't know much about him. I don't have the stats pulled up right now either.
Yeah, he got first in the China Open. Didn't do too well. He didn't make the cut though in the BMW. Got a 15. He's made the cut every single event he's participated in since the Abu Dhabi Golf Championship in on January 22nd. So there's I don't want to. He looks like a good play. I'm gonna go to the European Tour website actually and look up some of his stats, because that's actually, if you're one of those guys that just follows the game log and looks like a good play, and that's why I want to bring up the stats, because I want to get farther. I'm glad someone brought him up, because I need to get a look. I gotta look into this.
Yeah, Curtis, while he's looking that up, looking at him from just a standpoint, right now, he makes all his cuts, but then again, when was the last time? I don't know if he's ever competed in a PGA event, and at a major at that. So that's another thing people always got to take into perspective, is that golf is a sport. Like we were talking about for Tyrell Hatton, he just completely, hothead and just choked at the Masters. Like him, who everybody expected him to do well, they can just come to these majors and just bomb. So even if Alexander rates well, don't go overweight on him. Don't expect him to come out here and win, because knowledge of him ever competing in this tough of a field. And that's the thing too, is this competing against people like Dustin Johnson, competing against these players, seeing them in person, and then on the flip side, being on this majors, being on a wider scale. I think we're on Fox. We're on Fox now for this tournament. Definitely something to consider. Go ahead.
No, just one quick sentence. Yeah, Levi's actually doing pretty well, and their Europe's little tournament's called the Race to Dubai. That's like the equivalent of our FedEx Cup, I guess, in terms of golfing. And he's 12th,
yeah,
and his world ranking in golfing is 75th, which is not bad for a guy that isn't really well known. Because usually, like if you look at the world golf ranking of the St. Jude Invitational last week, there were guys, like, I'm not even lying to you, that were 300. Like I actually like who brought this up, man, that asked about Alex Levy?
Curtis.
Man, Curtis, who said he this is his first time following golf, dude. This dude's diving into more research than I've ever seen, dude. This is nuts. Good stuff, man. I'm actually gonna make a note. I'm gonna try to find some stats. That I thought the European Tour website had the actual stats, but I'm looking at his career records, but it doesn't give me. I can go back all the way through 2013, but I can't get any. Can I get? It gives me his like course history from years past on all these events, but these are Euros. So yeah, I don't. I'm gonna have to. I guess I'll have to do that off air, because I don't want to have any downtime on here. But I do think, from what I've seen so far, actually looks like a good play. And I mean, honestly, all plays are good in a fucking Millie Maker. You're gonna have to take some risk, and I think Levi's like a calculated risk so far that looks good.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. As far as the riskier play, I definitely He said, would a Euro PGA comparison be like NBA when the US wipes the other countries? Basically level of comp comparison. Yeah, essentially I'd say it more like it's kind of like overseas basketball compared to the NBA, pretty much. Like, you have those players that are good enough to come over here and be in the NBA. So there is. That's why, like we were saying earlier, that the Euro players, they're definitely good prospects. And like like he was looking at his stats, he could be definitely a nice sneaky play, and he could perform well here. So whenever I get some chance, I'll do some research of him as well. That's gonna be have to your gut call for now. I would definitely do some more research on him. But yeah, no, I like him if he's performed consistently and his stats are back it up.
Right, agreed. Especially that price tag. I love guys you can find in that 6K range because you're not paying for much. If he makes the cut, he's already done you good. So it's all up from there unless he really bombs on Saturday or Sunday, and then he'll probably MDF anyway. But and also I actually do not know if MDMF is in this field, but I do know that there's only 60 that make the cut out of 156. So it's going to be very tough to get 6 out of 6.
It's going to be tough this week to get 6 out of 6, guys.
But if you do hit that 6 out of 6, you're almost, I don't want to say guaranteed cash, because it depends on who is in the leaderboard. If it's a chalky leaderboard or not. If guys like DJ, Spieth, and Sergio, and Leishman and Kisner, guys like that miss the cut, all of them miss the cut, then you might be able to make the cut with, or make the cash on it with 5 out of 6. But other than that, it's going to be looking real tough. So I'm trying to find these stats here. I'm not finding too much, but I'm also running down on energy because I still got to make my lineups here, man. And probably
I'll try to power through some of these other guys.
I'll probably deposit a little bit too, man. Sadly.
Let's see. He asked about Westwood too. What do you think about Westwood?
Westwood. I've heard a little talk about him. I'm not entirely sold on him. He's another one of those guys. Not many experience performances on the PGA Tour recently. It kind of goes back and forth.
He got a T18 at the Masters, T65 at the Players.
Yeah, I played him at the Masters. I had him in a lineup where I was winning like 20 grand at a point, but it definitely went away quick when Hoffman lost it for me. But I had him, Streelman, and Westwood in a line together. They did all right for me, but man.
So Curtis, I don't think it's a question of Westwood or Levy. I just think it's a question of, because I think Westwood probably would garner more ownership. I really think once we get the stats on this guy, Levy, that could really answer your question for that one. Because I think both of them are in play.
I'm bringing up his stats. He was actually born in California, so he's not French. He moved to France, so he recognizes himself as French. Like he moved to France at a young age, at the age of 3. It says.
Okay.
So let's see here. I'm trying to find his scoring stats. I'm worried that since he's on the Euro Tour, they're not going to have anything on the. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. Because they have his profile on the PGA website, but they just don't have any stats for him. Because the one on the Euro website, they don't even have stats. So I swore they used to, though. But
okay. While you're looking at that, I'll these plays down here. Siwoo Kim. See, Siwoo Kim, he's one of those guys, man. Like, he's a pump play. He won the Players pretty much out of 2 before that, the Valero Texas Open, and he was cut at the Masters, and then he won the Players. Nobody was on him though, so it didn't really matter that he won. But he's one of those pump plays. It's really, that guy's really risky. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend him in a single entry. If you're renting, you could punt it. You could punt him. Who else is notable down here? It's not.
What price tag are you looking at? Because I got some names. If you just tell me the price tag, that I can I'll throw out some names. And
I'm still at 6,800 right now.
Ooh, 68. Well, I got some 67s. There's just, oh man, Billy Ho at 67 is gonna be a tough call. I don't know what I want to do with that because he's gonna garner some ownership, and he's not the longest. I mean, he's decent. He's like decent in all aspects. Nothing crazy. I think he is top 5, like maybe putting or scrambling. Maybe I can't recall exactly, but I'm really trying to find these stats because All right, let's go to the ESPN website. Maybe they have something for us. Nope.
You think about Wes Bryant?
Nah, I'm not gonna take that risk. I mean, I don't know when you're a mass multi-entry. I mean, you can always kind of take that risk on a guy like Wes Bryant who's won a tournament already this year. Very weak field though, of course, but still, I don't know, man. Guys at that low of a price is just making cuts. I'm not really on it too much.
Yeah. Let's see if any other questions. Yeah, Leishman. Yeah,
Yes,
I like
is it cool
Leishman.
with you if we cut it off at 1 in about 7-8 minutes here, so I can get to making my lineups before I pass out?
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah. I'll answer some questions.
We appreciate
Leishman.
y'all joining us, man. It's always good for a major. This is some big money. And other than the Thunderdome and the Millie Maker, did you throw any other entries in there, or did you just focusing on those two?
Um.
Any juicy tournaments that look good, or what you think?
Oh yeah. No, I did I said Thunderdome, the Millie Maker, and then the 333 tournament, the Pro Club.
Just one, or you max it, or just a couple?
No, I did I think I did 4 lineups for the Pro Club.
I'm just curious, man. How do you decide? Like, it might be pretty hard to answer, but what makes you decide what 4 are your best? Because that's just what fucks me up, man. Like, I'll like put like 10 in the 4 entry or the 20 entry max, and then I'll like max enter the 3 entry max, and I'll be like, fuck, which out of my 10 do I want to, or like, you know what I mean? Which out of my,
What I do is for those tournaments, I start with those tournaments first. So the Pro Club, I built my 4 lineups for the Pro Club first, and then I went on to the Millie Maker and tried not to touch those lineups that I built for those 4 clubs. Of course, I might tinker a little bit with it afterwards, but yeah, I try not to touch it.
Right. Do you plan to be up early in the morning just in case any freak shit happens? Because I know since you have so many lineups, you want to make sure that you don't have a dead lineup from the beginning. So, like, do you plan to be up at 7:30 in the morning, or are you just gonna let that shit fly?
Well, I'm on West Coast time, so it really be.
Oh man.
Yeah, they start at like 4:30, I believe, or 5 or some shit.
Yeah, dude. It's not like good.
Yeah, 4:45 is when they start. So, yeah, I mean, I'll be probably up late. Information comes out, I'll probably pass out, but I think I'm actually gonna get the PGA cast for to watch the game, the tournaments from now on.
Well, now the tournament this week is like all on Fox. I heard like
it's on Fox, but it's not full coverage, is it?
Fox Sports 1. I heard it is. I think. I don't have. I know we're live, so I don't want to lie in front of 25 viewers here, but I do believe the whole thing's on Fox. If not the whole thing, like those featured groups, like they're gonna go for. I think they start at 9 a.m. and then there's like another featured group at 1 p.m. It's just like I don't know. I don't know exactly, but I do know since Fox only has like this is like their only golf event they've done since like 2013 or something, maybe 14. So this is gonna be. I kind of like it, man. What I've heard is they're gonna be doing a lot of coverage, unlike what they've been doing on the Golf Channel and other nonsense like that. But anyway, we've covered a lot. There's obviously some plays down low we could get to. I don't have stats for them, but go ahead. You might have more of these.
I'll just go quickly for. I'm just gonna list names, guys, that at this price point and beyond that I like as punts or as good plays. As a complete punt, Ernie Els. He always shows up for some reason. Out of nowhere as a complete punt. There's no reason behind that. It's just a complete punt. JT Poston, the young gun, I like him. Definitely could garner some ownership. Too much ownership. I'm just saying I definitely would be having him. Billy Horschel, like you said, at this price point too, it's kind of hard to fade him completely. Fitzpatrick is interesting to me.
Oh yeah.
Walker, I could play him. I kind of, yeah, I could put Jimmy Walker. I like Jimmy Walker. Let's see who else here. What do you say? Watch construction is my big thing. First time playing PGA. How do you figure to differentiate yourself with money left over, like a lineup with zero versus? Okay, I'll cover that right at the end, Curtis. Let me keep going so this guy can go to some sleep. Love Leishman. Love Leishman. At this price
I can
point,
get my lineups in before I fall asleep.
yeah. Pat Perez is definitely in play at that price. Furyk is interesting. Scott Piercy, decent. Graham McDowell, I do like Graham McDowell at that price point.
Very good birdie maker. Can get that
Yeah,
streak for
yeah.
it. Even though
Graham,
it's probably not
yeah, actually,
this event, but
I do like Graham McDowell. Ross Fisher, I know somebody asked about him earlier. I like him, don't love him. Jonathan Vegas is interesting to me, man. Vegas is somebody I think could actually show up at this event.
Man, I've touted Vegas so often. Like, I remember there was those 2 Texas events back to back, and he's like from Texas, and he like got a top 30. Like, it was an event where he missed cut and got like a top 60, and like he was only like 8% owned. He like top 30. And I was like, all right, he's hot. I'm gonna play him again. It was like an event he like had 2 missed cuts in a row. And I was like, all right, he's gonna make it this week. And he goes out there and shits the bed. So I just don't think he has the game to keep up. I mean, at his price, this is definitely the lowest we're going to see Johnny V, but I just can't let it go. But almost all the guys you named, I really like. The last guy I'll throw out there is David Lingmerth, just because he's playing well at 6,600. That's the last guy I got.
Just looking at David Lingmerth. Yeah, Lingmerth, I kind of like. I mean, I wouldn't go too heavy on Lingmerth, especially because the last tournament was tournament biasy. But he has been playing well, and when he plays well, he gets streaks. So I definitely like him. Chris Wood is somebody else I do like. At 6,500. Not too much to go off for him for majors. He got cut from the Masters, which you don't like to see, but he definitely fares well. He got T2 at the Nordea Master last week, so definitely in play at 6,500. Can't go wrong with that. Thanks, Tim. And then going down to these complete pump plays, I like. Well, I don't know much about, but I do like Aaron Rai. Complete pump play, made 4 out of 4 cuts in Europe. And then Chaz Reavy, your guys' golden boy. It's interesting. We'll be playing him again this week. But he did good last week, so tournament biasy, you could go with him. And then like I brought up yesterday, one of my favorite plays at cheap for 6,100, man. This amateur, Stuart Hogstad, man. Got T36 in a tough field at the Masters.
No, man, don't do that. You're talking about the real estate agent, man. Don't do that.
Listen, man.
I mean, I feel you, but man, I think honestly, man. All right. Oh, give me an over/under percentage of his ownership. What do you think?
Oh, I can't see him being over.
What do you think?
I can't see him being over like 5%.
All right. Well, all right. Well, so if that's your over/under, all right, I'd say under. I think he just by a little bit though, like 3 or 4. I thought you were gonna say 2% is your over/under, but I don't know. Even at 5%, that's not a lot of the field, but
I don't think he'll be 5.
I've heard a little bit of him. Yeah, I agree. I've heard a little bit of smoke about him, just a little talk. But man, at 6,100, you really don't need shit except the made cut. And if he makes you the cut, like I don't know, man. It looks good. I understand it, especially in a million maker. I wouldn't be on these guys at all in like regular lineups, of course. But I know you wouldn't either. But you got to do crazy shit to get a million.
Stuff, man. Like the Masters is the Masters. Like the people don't just go to the Masters and just, I'm gonna make the cut. I'm gonna perform pretty well. So yeah, and I've been doing a little bit of research on him. He's a top amateur. He's he wins like a bunch of those amateur tournaments. So he's from USC, so he played golf at USC. So you wanna cheap punt, I definitely think you could roster him, and that's probably I wouldn't go past anybody past that, definitely not. But
Right, man. I'm barely keep my eyes open right now. Jeez.
Yeah. So, yeah, we can end it here if you want to cover any last notes.
Yeah, man. I really don't have much to say other than, I mean, I'd leave a little bit on the table in the Millie Makers. It's not so much about chalk personally, it's about chalk as a lineup. You don't want to take guys that fit well necessarily.
That's exactly what I forgot to say, actually. Like, if it fits too easily, guys, especially in the Millie Maker, probably somebody else has that lineup.
Especially
if
you just open DraftKings and clicked like, all right, DJ, then went down a couple, and like it all fit perfectly. Like your average remaining player just kept going perfectly. You set it up in 30 seconds, like while you're taking a shit or something like that. Then no, I guarantee, yeah, some computer oriented program made that 40 times for 40 different guys. And I've noticed, actually, I do want to make this point that if you don't actually, for guys that are thinking about subscribing to software, if you don't moderate your own lineups, like if you don't go in there and like to pretty much tell them what the fuck you want, you will have like multiple lineups that are the same. I've gone in like different contests like UFC and shit like that, and people that use the same optimizer softwares from like, for example, Fantasy Guru Elite, Fantasy Cruncher, those websites often shoot out the same lineups as they have the same projections. So you'll go in there in a UFC contest, and these like 8 dumbasses will have the exact same lineup with the same logo. It's like, well, I wonder why these guys have the same lineups. It's because it's an optimizer. So just know that if you make a really easy ass lineup, there's a good chance an optimizer made that in a matter of like half a millisecond, like just calculated that easily. So I don't really have anything else to say for plays. I will take one more look at my notes here. We covered everybody. The only one that I will say, just because no one's going to be on them, like everyone's gets. I think instead of Jason Day, everyone said Jason Day was like the GPP play. You know what I mean? Like he's the guy to play in GPPs instead of DJ and those guys. I'm a pivot, and actually I'm gonna have a little bit of exposure to Matsuyama. I think he's being, from what I've read recently and from his stats, he kills it par fives. I think he's being underlooked, man. I think he's gonna come. I actually believe it, man. My bold call. Let's leave with the bold call. My bold call is Matsuyama's the only stud under 10% owned.
You think he's gonna be under 10%? Yeah.
I think Matsuyama, like being Japanese, like it's not a racial thing, but
No.
a lot of that's actually a thing though. Someone said on tour that Matsuyama's not as big as a stud because he's Japanese. He's like, it's different, and I see it. I mean, someone like actually reputable said that in the media. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, I'm gonna have some exposure. It's gonna be tough on who I'm gonna place with them. Like that's why I got to work on it. It's probably gonna take me until I literally drop. So that's why I was gonna try to slide out now, guys, so I can do my lineups. So, Andrew, any last words, man? You go ahead.
Yeah, last words. So make sure you guys look into the weather a little bit. The weather is supposed to be this golf course is the tree lines. There's not really any tree lines, so the wind affects it a lot more. So
no tree.
Yeah, round 2, the later group is supposed to get hit with like 14 miles. So make sure you look into that. And then like we've been harping, man. Try to build your lineups who are gonna make the most amount of DraftKings points, man. Don't just look for who's gonna place first and try to get fit a bunch of other scrubs with them. Try to build your lineups with people who are gonna score most amount of birdies and eagles, and then leave money on the table. And that's all.
Have you heard of this guy? Enrique just said in the chat, Lorena Ochoa. Have you heard of that person?
No, I've never heard of that guy.
I don't know if that's a golfer on tour or that's just a troll or something, whatever is going on. But yeah, honestly, never heard of him. I'm not gonna risk that. I'm not gonna put money on that. So I don't know, man. Anyway, I'm really gotta get to my lineup. So anyway, for Andrew, this is Dexter, man. If you are not a member of the Sweatshop, because this is a public video, so if anyone's in there, this is mainly for the DFS Sweatshop. But this is mainly for anyone that wants to chop up golf. But I'm catering for the DFS Sweatshop. So join at www.dfssweatshop.com. We chop up all stuff. Doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. Like all of it. Fucking, we got esports, all that good stuff. So Andrew, it was good having you, man. I appreciate it. And man, best of fucking luck, man. Hopefully someone in the Sweatshop
Hey, one of us needs to take down the million, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, we got a lot of kids with entries, man. We got a lot of cats with entries, so you never know, man. It's gonna be crazy.
We're gonna be the Millie Band clan from now on, boys.
Right. Right. It's gonna be nuts. One of us is gonna do it, man. And as soon as it happens, there's no turning back, man. I mean, I'm never. This is full time after that.
Right.
So,
yes.
well, I might never have to work again if I do well with the money. I don't want to hold it too long here, but man, I'm gonna have to invest. That's what I'm gonna have to do. But anyway, guys, yeah, Sweatshop Life, Curtis said. So anyway, guys, y'all keep it easy, and y'all take care, and keep it. We'll see for golf. Let's do keep it 550. Yeah, keep it 600. Oh no, for the Millie Maker, keep it 685. No, I'm just kidding. But something nuts, like not even possible. But all right, y'all keep it easy, man.
Be easy, guys. Bye.